Welcome back. As the festive season approaches, or perhaps intensifies, Transport Minister Barbara Creecy is leading a road safety inspection at the Lebombo border post today. The port of entry is facing disruptions due to post-election protests in neighbouring Mozambique. This inspection comes just days after border guards intercepted a minibus taxi attempting to smuggle 14 undocumented children into South Africa. The driver has been arrested and charged with aiding and abetting illegal entry in accordance with the Immigration Act. And of course, we now know that Barbara Creecy, the Transport Minister, has closed the Lebombo border post. In fact, let's unpack the story further as we talk about some of South Africa's ports of entry and security efforts to put an end to these kinds of crimes. We're joined now by Willem Els, who is a security expert at the Institute of Security Studies. Willem, good afternoon to you. It's always a pleasure talking to you. What is so particularly easy, or what makes this border post so particularly porous, the Lebombo border post?
Good afternoon to you. Yes, you know that the Lebombo border post is actually one of our busiest ports of entry on our land borders. So between Lebombo and then also the Beitbridge border post, they are extremely busy, especially this time of the year, with a lot of South Africans want to go on holiday in Mozambique. That's a very popular destination for them, but also a lot of the migrant workers going back. So that border post has been really crowded and is not up to the scratch to actually deal and handle with the volumes that are going through. That is on the South African side. And so about a month ago, we see with the uprisings, they burned down the Mozambican side of the border post. So the infrastructure is not there. They're busy working with makeshift infrastructure. That all delays the movement of people, but also of freight. It's one of our busiest ports that we use is the port of Mozambique. We see that there are miles and miles and miles of trucks queuing there. So all of that contribute to the mix of why it is so porous, because one of the things that is happening there is your border management authority is severely understaffed and under-resourced. They are functioning at about maybe 30 to 35% of their capacity because of that, and these guys are really working very hard. We see that your immigration, your police, as well as the military have to work together, and up till fairly recently, they were compartmentalized. They worked in silos, and it seems that the Minister of Home Affairs, as well as the Commissioner of the BMA, they went out of their way now to see how they can harmonize it, how they can bring all these people together in order to form a better work there. But your challenge that you also have, and that is really hampering South Africa all over, is your endemic corrupted state actors that are active there, where they are really, there are quite a few of them, and that we say not all of them are very corrupt. They are taking bribes, people are moving in and out, and we suspect that with this taxi driver, he managed to get quite a long way with those children before he was stopped. So he must have bribed quite a few people on the way there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's one of the big costs of a porous border post, isn't it? It's human trafficking.
It is. And your challenge is, if you look at human trafficking and human smuggling, if you look at the Transnational Organized Crime Index for Africa, where we are currently the #1 in the SADC region and #3 in Africa, #7 in the world, it means that, we are quite hampered by these things. And it's very, very active, especially through that border post. When we did a study there some time ago, we saw a lot of people. It's almost a constant stream of people that are moving back and forth across the border right next to the border post. And the taxi, they get off of the taxi when before they get to the border post in Mozambique. The driver with all the luggage drive through. When he comes out on the other side of the border post, outside the gates, they just pick up all his passengers and they come into South Africa without being documented, without being checked, nothing.
Insofar as the mine situation is concerned, two illegal mining situations unfolding over the past few weeks in South Africa, one in Sabi, in Mpumalanga, and one that's still ongoing for some weeks now, Stilfontein in the northwest. And police revealing that of these alleged illegal miners were undocumented migrants from a number of our neighbors, but also from Mozambique, 32 of them as well, Willem.
That's correct. Yeah. If you look at the statistics released by the police, we see that countries like Zimbabwe and Mozambique is very high on the roll there. There are South Africans also among them. There are Lesotho people among them, and it seems that the Lesotho people are the kingpins and the organizers of these gangs. So yes, it's a challenge, and these people are coming through. They are not documented. They don't have work permits. We don't have any documentation or biometrics of them that they are in the country, and that makes it very easy for them to operate right under the radar. But what we also picked up is that quite a few of those illegal miners that surfaced were actually underage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, migration experts are talking about what the Border Management Authority has hailed as its successes over the past year, since the beginning of January this year. It says it's refused entry to South Africa to more than 4,000 people who didn't have the proper documentation. Migration experts will tell us that this quote-unquote success might not actually be a success as such. We're treating the issue of migration as a threat rather than an opportunity. What would you say to that argument, Willem, in a context where we all agree that if you're in the country, in any country, the requirement is that you do have the proper documentation?
Of course, these migration experts, it depends through what lens they are looking at it. If you look with a liberal lens, you would like to bring in as many people as possible. If you're more on the conservative side, of course, you want to protect your people. And there's a constant tug of war between all of them. The challenge that we face with is that, South Africa, in terms of our constitution, in terms of the mandate of government, is to look after South Africans, to look after their rights, and also to look after their job security first before they bring in people. That is why if you are asking or you're applying for a visa, a scarce skills visa, you must prove that there are no South Africans that are able to do their job. But we see with these people, migration. I've also heard where they say that migration actually contributes to the economy. But what I think that they are missing is that you got two different types of economy. You got your legal and your overt economy, and then you got your criminal economy. And to which side are they contributing? And it seems like with the illegal miners, they're definitely not contributing to our overt or legal economy.
The Border Management Authority tells us over the past year they've had a number of successes, Willem. They've implemented a whole range of strategies to try and tighten our border crossings. Would you agree with that statement?
I would agree, and I also saw a statement by the Commissioner of the Border Management Authority, where he actually indicated that they are securing technical and electronic surveillance apparatus from other departments, amongst them the military, who's got access to drones that are mothballed at the moment because there's no funding to fly them. And they indicated that they negotiated that they can be able to use and fund the use of those equipment as force enhancement in order to secure the borders even further. Because you must understand, by 1992, we had a very good system in place on our borders with electric fencing, etc., and they switched it off in 1992. And of those border fences, nothing is left. So that also contributes to the ease of which the illegal migrants can cross the river or cross the border.
Willem Els, let me thank you for your time this afternoon, talking to us there about a whole range of issues insofar as our border crossings are concerned. This inspection by the Transport Minister at the Lebombo border post today, coming just days after a minibus taxi was intercepted with 14 undocumented children trying to smuggle the children into South Africa. Willem Els is with the Institute for Security Studies.